Good morning. So this is day one of maths. Sorry about the wobbly table. I'll try and get that sorted for tomorrow. So today I'm going to talk you through the maths lesson, and hopefully you won't need too many resources, but you will need something like, so I've got a pot of paper clips, but just something that you can group into separate groups because we are doing division today. Okay, let me just get up the screen share. I hope you are all keeping well and keeping your spirits up. Now, before I start, sorry, I should say I'm in school way more at the moment. I'm looking after the key worker children 1 week on, 1 week off. So what I'm going to do is create a bank of resources that are available through my YouTube. Obviously, we've still got Bite Size and we've still got the Oak Academy that you can dip in and out of, but I will aim to do a lesson of maths and English a day and just put them onto my YouTube channel. So if you just subscribe to that, 9 AM every morning, it will be up and running. I've scheduled it because my internet is so bad that I can't do it at home. So I'm coming in and I'm doing it bulk sessions, which is why you might think I just never change. I just doing several in a row of lessons so that we can hopefully have some kind of normality as I realised that this is difficult. I am still available on Dojo. Throughout the day I will be given opportunities where I can get back to you on things, but it won't be as instant as it was because I'll now be working full-time with the key worker children as well. Okay, so let's share the screen. So today, where am I? Oh, make me much bigger. Definitely need to see far more of my face. Lovely. Okay, so today we're going to talk about step one, division by sharing using manipulatives. Manipulatives is just a strong word. It means concrete resources. It just means using things, I suppose. You could use teddies, you could use cupcakes. I mean, the temptation to eat the cupcakes is quite high. So I would stick to something small. Maybe you've got some beads or something like that. That would be perfect. So I've got a set of paper clips. So I've got those, and I've got those in the corner, and I can get them when I need to. So first of all, just need to really recap this symbol. Now I've put on here, what does this mean? Where have you seen it or used it before? Now, for me, it's really quite straightforward because it's got that line and you've got one group here and one group here. So this is a division symbol. It is the divide symbol. And it reminds me of that because it's got that dividing line in the middle of two groups, okay? That's how I remember it. So, obviously this lesson was designed to be in class and with you all. So we're going to be doing it slightly differently. So when I suggest things like, I would like to ask 12 children to come to the front of the class, obviously we can't do that. So what I need you to do is get 12 things. So I'm just going to put it on here. So 12 things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now, if they're paper clips, just make sure they're not joined together. And it'd be really good to push all the rest away so it doesn't accidentally get mixed in. And I will say as well, always double check. So I'm going to use my 2 times table to double check. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I've definitely got 12 and only 12. Okay, we're going to share these 12 into 4 equal groups. Now, you can do that many different ways. You could put a physical barrier in, up, like I've done. So you could have 1, 2, 3, 4 sections. That's fine. You could use a piece of paper and you could draw. You'd think I'd think to get a pen, wouldn't you? you could draw lines. Hang on, I'm just going to get a pen because that's just silly. Okay. So you could have a pen and a pencil, and of course a nice straight ruler, which you all saw me use, and you can only not use a ruler if you've got magic fingers. Okay, so you could put in each section, and then you could divide up your paper clips. Now, what's the important rule? The important rule is each section has to be even. Sorry, equal, not even. Each section has to be equal. That's really important. So how we do this is we use a systematic approach. So a systematic approach is doing things in an order that you can remember, okay? So I'm going to start in this corner. I'm going to go here, 2, 3, 4. And the next time I'm going to do exactly the same. So I've got an even distribution. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've now got 8 in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. So I've now divided my manipulatives into 4 different groups. I've taken 12 and I've put them into 4 groups. Okay, so we'd record this calculation like this. 12 divided by 4 equals 3. You can see I've got 3 in each group. Now, if I had something like this, that wouldn't work because there's only 2 in there. But because I've used my systematic approach, I'm able to know that that's accurate. So 12 divided by 4 is 3. So you can see here, 12 cubes into 4 equal groups is 3 in each group. 12 divided by 4 is 3. So this is a word map. So we can use this each time we do a different sum. We can write this down. So 12 cubes into 4 equal groups is 3 in each group. And it helps us get it into our head. So 12 shared into 4 groups is 3 in each group. 12 divided by 4 is 3. Okay, so we could fill this in. So that's the task. We are going to look at this. So using your multi-link, or like I said, because we don't all have multi-link, as paper clips or anything, really anything small that you can divide up, but you are going to need quite a few of them. So you could talk to mom or dad, you might have some rice, or that's quite fiddly, some pasta or anything like that. Just as long as you've got plenty of it. You might have some gravel outside, just a handful of that would be perfect. So we're going to share them into 4 things. So if you make one of these on a piece of paper, you've got 4 sections. That would be really good for this first task. So, and each group, I want you to start off with 16 paper clips or items, and I want you to share them into 4 equal groups. And then in your books or on your paper, choose one of the numbers and record the division in your book using pictures or diagrams as well as the calculation. So you can show exactly what you've done, but you can draw it out with symbols or squares, or you can draw the actual thing you've used, but next to your sum. So 16 divided by 4 equals, and then the answer. Okay. So you can see here, I've done a little example of what might be in your book. So 3, a group of 3, and then a space, and a group of 3, and then a space, group of 3, and a space, group of 3, then a space. And I've written underneath it 12 divided by 4 equals 3. Okay, so that's perfect. So I'd like you to do that for 16 or 24 and for 32. You can pause it on the screen to leave these numbers up. I'm just going to move it up slightly so that when you do pause it, you have the numbers and you also have my example here, because this is what it should look like in your books. If you are doing squares, please use a ruler. That'd be amazing. Okay, I'm going to pause it here, and so that you know it's paused, I'm going to go like this. Pause. Doing it yet? You paused it. Good. Okay, let's stop there. So you can, obviously you've done that, you've done this task. I hope it went well, and we're going to move on. Okay, so this time, I'm gonna have to move my little picture. This time we're doing into 3 equal groups. So again, using your apparatus, using your concrete resources, you're going to take 18 and divide it into 3 in exactly the same way as you did before. And in your books, you choose one of them or multiple ones, and choose one of the numbers and record the division into your books using pictures, diagrams, as well as the calculation, exactly as before. You can do it for each one of these because you're used to this now. And let's face it, at the end of the day, the last one was 3, and this is 3, so there's 6 questions in total. Okay, I'm going to again pause that. You done it yet? So I'm going to pause that, and then I'm going to just look down here. If you've done that, what I'd then like you to do is create a Venn diagram. Now, if you remember, there are 2 circles, and I've got titles. So on the first circle, the title is numbers that can be divided by 3 with no remainder. Remainder is if you don't have an even number in each box. We don't have any of those today. And then the other circle is numbers that can be divided by 4 with no remainder. So, for example, you would have in this side, you would look at, ooh, what happened there? Very strange. On this side, you'd have these numbers. So 18, 9, etc. And on the other side, you'd have the 4s. So 16 and 32, and then some others. So 16 and 32. Sorry, writing on this is not easy. Now, there are other numbers in there. Now, I'm going to say, for example, 12. Now, 12 is interesting because it is in the 4 times table. It is numbers that can be divided by 4, but it's also in the 3 times table. So it would go into the middle here because it's in this circle and it's in that circle, and that's how Venn diagrams work. So I'd like you to populate that with all the numbers that we've looked at today. I'd also like you to think about your 3 times table and your 4 times table and see if you can put any other numbers. Please don't go more than 12 times 12, 12 times 4 or 12 times 3, because it just gets very crowded in those Venn diagrams. I'd love to see that. Again, you record your things down. If you'd like to take a photograph and put it on portfolios, that obviously goes with you throughout the year, so it's a nice record of what you've done. It would be great to see all of your work. Now, I've also got, it's called a destination question. So I've got a few questions here which I'll leave up on screen for you. So you can have a go at those, be creative, show me it in as many possible ways. And also, number 2, can you create a a sharing story, this calculation. It's up to you. You can use grapes. You don't have to, but can you come up with a story? So, for example, there was 18 grapes, and there were 3 children who each wanted an equal amount of grapes. How many grapes did they have each? So you're writing your own question to go with that potential answer. Okay. I hope you've enjoyed today, and I hope you've done very neat work, and I'll see you soon. Okay.